everyone. That was a bit weird then. Hi everyone and welcome back to Big OGGIE World. So today I am going to be doing a heritage recipe. So that means basically one with a little bit of a background to it. So if you're a watcher of the channel, you will know that we do like Sainsbury's magazine. It comes out every month. There's lots of bits and pieces in it. There's usually some coupons at the front that you can use to get money off of stuff if you like, but it's always got nice little recipes and they're pretty variable. You know, there's some cakes and there's lots of other stuff. Anyway, I digress. So today we are going to be doing something called Cotswold Dumplings with a tomato sauce. Now this is a brilliant recipe because it's one of those recipes that you can use up leftover bits that are otherwise going to go into the bin. So you need some fresh breadcrumbs. So if you've got a bit of stale bread, you need that, and a bit of cheese. And again, we all got bits and pieces of little bits of cheese, and that literally is some red Leicester that we had left over and a little bit of mature cheddar. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what a Cotswold dumpling is first, and then we'll crack on. So a Cotswold dumpling makes a delicious cheap meal and are a good way to use up leftover bread and cheese. They're deep fried and the texture is similar to a croquette, but they're crunchy and they're British cheese, so it's much stronger sort of texture, much stronger flavour. Traditional recipes, or some of them, use suet and that will give an extra fluffy texture, but we're literally using up leftovers today, so we're not going to do that. If you've cooked your dumplings and you have some left over, you can freeze them and cook them again straight from frozen out the freezer for about 15 minutes in a moderate oven. So to start off with, you add your soft butter into a mixing bowl. Then you're going to add your cheese. And your spring onions. And you're going to mix those together to sort of form some sort of loose type paste. It's easier to do this with a fork and just keep mashing at it until you've got no big lumps of butter, basically. Next, you add your eggs. Your milk, little bit of salt and pepper. Don't go too mad with the salt because it's cheese and some of them are quite salty. Give those a stir around. And finally, add in your breadcrumbs, the fresh breadcrumbs this time. And then you need to give this a really good mix. So depending on how fresh or stale your breadcrumbs are, you may need to add a little bit more liquid to get it to a sort of paste. Well, yeah, a thick-ish paste. Once you've got all that mixed in, it will look like that. Now, the next stage is to make our little croquettes. And the easiest way to do that is to dampen your hands a little bit because the mixture is quite sticky. And this amount of mixture is going to make 16 croquettes. So I'm just going to wipe my hands. Take a spoonful, roll it into a little bowl and put it on a plate. Try and get them roughly the same size, which is what I'm trying to do with a spoon, but I'm not good with things like that. And then once you've got them on your plate, you're going to need to put them in the fridge to rest for 30 minutes. And that's important because whilst they're resting, the breadcrumbs are going to continue to soak up any excess liquid, and it will also stop the croquettes from bursting when you fry them. So it's a good thing to do. I'll come back when I've done my dumplings. So the sauce is a tomatoey onion type sauce, and to start it off we are going to add our butter into the pan. Start that melting. Add in our onions. It doesn't really matter if you've got chunky onions or not chunky onions because you're going to blitz this. We're not going to blitz it till it's smooth though, we're going to sort of try and leave a few chunky bits in there. Sort of, I guess, kind of like a salsa, but it really is down to you how you would prefer it. Let the onions get a little sizzle on a minute. I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar, a little bit of salt and pepper, add our tin of chopped tomatoes, give it a good mix in. Then we're going to partially cover it and bring it up to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down and simmer it for 30 minutes. So that's really all there is to do with the sauce. So we'll be back in 30 minutes. Okay, so welcome back. The sauce has had a good 30 minutes simmering on the hob, and it's nicely thickened up, and obviously the onions have all softened. So I don't have a stick blender, but if you do, then blitz it with a stick blender. I'm just going to pour it in my normal blender and give it a whiz. Now, as I said, you can have it as chunky or smooth as you like. I've gone for a reasonably smooth. It smells delicious, and I'm going to pour it back into the pan because we won't be eating our dumplings until this evening. So as you can see, it's still a bit lumpy, but predominantly a lot stronger than it was. Right, get that one out of the way. Give it a little taste, shall we? Very nice. I can imagine that would be brilliant with cheesy things. It's got that sweet but savoury taste to it, if that makes sense. Better than any ketchup anyway. So the next thing we need to do now is get our dumplings out of the fridge and breadcrumb them with dried breadcrumbs. Now, this is a bit controversial really, but I've gone for the old-fashioned golden breadcrumbs, you know, those ones that look really weird, like
well,
luminous.
I wasn't going to get involved because someone said the other day, please don't stop interrupting, but I am going to get involved now. It is a heritage thing, so you've gone for heritage breadcrumbs.
Absolutely.
You could have used panko.
Yeah, we could have used panko. The only thing with panko is, well, it's pale, isn't it? And I know we're going to deep fry these, so they'll go nice and crispy and probably golden. But if you've got golden to start off with, they're going to be like proper golden, aren't they?
They look like crab claws when you bring them out.
Oh, I love crab claws. Actually, I might do myself some crab claws for tea. I've got some in the freezer. Don't often do them because I don't often deep fry things, but we're going to have to fry these, so maybe I'll keep my oil ready. And
So you're not eating the cheese croquettes?
well, the thing with the cheese croquettes is our household has a little mouse. I say little, she's 17. But if there's cheese around, she's not far behind, quite frankly. She has cheese for supper. She'll come down and sneak a few little slices, hide it in a little piece of kitchen roll and sneak back to her room, just like a little mouse. And so this is why we are making Cotswold dumplings, because yesterday's tea was not her favourite. It was her brother's favourite. So I sort of felt like I should be doing her something special today. So, fat is ready to fry with, or set up ready to go. I'll be back. I need a plate to put my breadcrumbs on, and I need to get my dumplings out of the fridge. So here are our little dumplings, and all you need to do now is just roll them in the breadcrumbs. There's no need to egg and wash and do this, that and do that with it. Just roll them in the breadcrumbs to get a nice covering and put them back on your plate. Okay, so I have crumbed my dumplings and I have a saucepan just under half full with oil, cooking oil, to deep fry them. Now, I don't have a deep fat fryer. If you have a deep fat fryer that's temperature controlled, you need to set the temperature for 180 degrees. If you don't have that, and you have to do it the old-fashioned way like me, you still need to try and get your oil to about 180. Now, I've got a thermometer, which I'm using to be specific. The other way of doing it is to get a cube of bread, and when you stick it in the oil, it's supposed to brown in a few seconds, or like a minute or so. So at the moment, my temperature is about 155. Safety. Do not fill your pan more than half full. That's the first thing. Don't leave your pan unattended at all. Right? Do not even nip out for a quick wee, go and answer the door. Don't leave your pan at all, because these things go very quickly and a fat fire is not a good thing to have. If by any chance you do get a fat fire, do not put water over it. Don't go anywhere near it with water. Dampen down a tea towel or a towel, wring it out so that it's not dripping, and put it over the top to suffocate the fire. Call the fire brigade, get out, stay out, and call them out, basically. This is the reason I don't deep fry very often. It makes me nervous. It really does. I've never had a fire, and as you know, I've worked in lots of kitchens, so I've always been very respectful when it comes to fat. The other thing is, if you get a fat burn, please go to hospital, because this stuff carries on cooking your skin for a very long time. So stick it straight under the tap if you get burn. If it's a bad burn, go to hospital and get it looked at. Don't try and soldier on. You know what we're all like. We all think, oh, it'll be all right. Just take a painkiller, it'll be fine. But, you know, you're going to be scarred if you don't get it sorted out. So that's my tips on how to stay safe with a deep fat fryer thing.
I need to lie down there. I need a stiff drink. I might have to be a cocktail in a minute there. Thank you.
Right, we are now at 176, 177, so we're basically there. So, you need to take your little balls of deliciousness and put them into your oil. There we go. We're going to do them in batches, and remember, because they've been fridged, don't overcrowd the pan because you will lower the temperature of the oil quite quickly because they're quite cold what you're putting in there. So I'm going to sort of do about 5 at a time, I think. And basically you're going to want to cook these until they're nice and golden brown. Try not to let them stick together. That would be a good thing to not do. I'm going to keep an eye on my oil temperature because I don't want it to go ridiculously high either. We're now at 181, so drop that down just a slight bit. Now, I'm cooking this at just after midday, and these won't be served until tea time. So I'm just let them cool on the kitchen paper, and then later on I'm going to put them into the oven for about 15 minutes to reheat them and let the cheese go all nice and melty and toasty again. So as you can see, they're coming out nice and golden. Okay, so the last lot are just about getting there. And as I said to John, if you don't want to eat them immediately, freeze them, take them out of the freezer and cook them directly from frozen for about 15 minutes in a moderate oven. So handy little things to have. If you have got, you know, a loaf of bread that you haven't used and some cheese hanging about, why not make a batch of these and save on your, you know, as a cheap meal that would have gone in the bin otherwise. We're there. Yeah, we're there.
I guess that's the thing about heritage stuff as well, because in those days people did throw things away, they didn't waste stuff. You used up what you had and you made the most of everything.
I think those sorts of ideals though are becoming more sort of everyday again, if you like.
Yeah, I think from necessity now, people are realising
people can't
it.
afford.
Well, we've had 20 years of throwaway society and now it's back. They're looking really good.
They do look good, they smell great. Right, turn that off.
Right then, darling, what we got?
So we have got Cotswold dumplings with a tomato sauce.
Yes, we do. So, we're going to give them a taste?
We'll try.
We'll try. They could be very hot, mate.
They could be.
Yeah.
This one's okay because
I was going to say, go for one of the early ones. They are a little bit gooey. Yeah, I did wonder if they'd be gooey.
Cheesy and gooey inside.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it first. Well, you try that bit.
Okay.
I'll try it first without the sauce.
Oh, they're nice without the sauce.
Oh.
Yeah, they're nice. They're a lot lighter than you expect. I was worried that
that's lush.
only being in the fat a couple of minutes, they would actually cook the inside, but they do.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Let's try a bit of sauce.
It's just got that melty consistency. It's just starting, isn't it?
Oh, the sauce is good though.
We've got quite a piquant hit.
It reminds me, because the onions are quite, because it's spring onions, they're not oniony, like hot oniony, but they're sweet. It sort of reminds me a bit like a mini bite of quiche.
Yeah. They're like the best ever Big Mac cheesy bite things you can get. Honestly, it's much better than those. They're very good.
They're delicious.
Yeah, do another batch for you. We'll eat these, and then when she comes out from college, we can we'll do another batch. Well done, darling. It's very good.
They are absolutely fab. I would 100% say make these, absolutely. And I would absolutely say do a double batch, put some in your freezer. It'd be brilliant for an easy lunch. A little bit of salad on the side if you want. We're going to give them to our daughter tonight for her tea. She is going to absolutely devour them. She's not keen on potatoey things, so she'll probably have some of these more or less on their own, I would guess. And she'll probably dip them in barbecue sauce because that's the way that she rolls.
She don't need tomatoes.
No. So, anyway, if you like the recipe, give us a thumbs up. Please try it. Honestly, you won't regret it. If you're subscribed, wonderful. If you're not, please do. If you haven't remembered to do it up to now, do hit the notification bell. It is important and it does help if you're looking out for things to come along. Come and join us over on the Facebook page, Big OGGIE World. It's our community page. It's where we share lots of different people's foods and recipes, and where also you can contact us really easily if you want us to try and do something for you. So, apart from that, we'll see you all again really soon.
Pick them up, love, because I've closed in right close on you, so you won't see it now. There you go, well done.
Cotswold Dumplings, give them a go.
I love your dumplings, darling, they're lovely.
See you again soon.